okay, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If he was like, meh,
Yeah.
right? Cool, but suck on my tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That is very different.
Come here, little boy.
Yo, I don't know how they said, like, those two things are different.
Yeah.
And so this is the other thing that they were saying. They go, okay, but you guys understand. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain podcast. Genius Brain is every Sundays at 12 p.m. If you're a brand new listener, where the fuck have you been? That's a quick introduction.
Get your fucking life together.
Yeah, you fat, ugly piece of shit.
You filthy animals.
Or you skinny, filthy little fuck. Waking up in your
fucking Dalai Lamas.
Out here kissing little babies, sticking your tongue out, you little sick freaks. That is probably one of the most heinous videos I've ever seen in my life. And I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Bro, he has to be suffering from dementia or some shit. Like, for him to think that was okay to do, like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
So could I just say this real quick? And I mean no disrespect to the Buddhist religion.
Yeah.
Right? This is already sounding really bad.
Whenever you preface it with something like that.
I mean absolutely no disrespect, right?
Yeah.
So me watching this video,
Yeah.
there are times where I catch myself where I say, oh, I actually don't know what this is or what this means. So I was like, what is the Dalai Lama? Well, let me tell you something, people. This is the most complicated fucking religion I've ever read about in my life. Buddhism is so fucking complicated. I hate it so fucking much. This is what it was. I was trying to understand, okay, what is the Dalai Lama? And they're like, okay, it's a specific set of Buddhism called Buddhism of the Yellow Hat. What is the Yellow Hat? This is what was happening. I would read the definition of what I'm looking for, and they would say 18 more words that I don't fucking understand what it means.
It's just like it keeps branching off.
And then like the 7 blah, blah, blah of Tantra. And I'm like, what the fuck is Tantra?
Yeah.
I look at Tantra. They go, Tantra is the 6 forms of the Buddhist palm or some shit like that. I'm like, and I was there for like 3 hours. Just going back in information, trying to understand what the fucking first part is.
Right. You know, when you do stuff like that, that's how you end up like starting to look up Dalai Lama and then end up at 2 Girls, 1 Cup. So, you know, it keeps branching off into crazy shit.
And I was getting pissed. Like Mariel was like looking at me and she goes, why are you so frustrated? It's like, because I don't understand Buddhism.
Yeah.
And so Mariel was like, listen, when I was in college, this is what my professor says. Buddhism is nothingness. And I'm like, okay. Get the fuck out of this room too, all right? Because you're not helping me out either. Like she said, her professor said, Buddhism is a life of pain. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever read about in my life. But long story short for this, from what I've gathered, right? It's basically Avatar. That's how the Dalai Lama is chosen.
Yeah.
And that's what Avatar was based off, since this is how my brain works. This is the only way I can connect something intelligent is to anime and cartoons.
Yeah.
So, if you guys watched Avatar, right? How is Aang selected as the avatar? They get a few objects to see which object that this child chooses, because the object that the child chooses is from the previous avatar. That's essentially what they took off from this, Tibetan monks or whatever, whatnot. And so the Dalai Lama is chosen that way. So the Dalai Lama, before he passes, right, practices something called conscious dying. So this motherfucker doesn't die. He lays down or figures out with his other like servants and goes, you know what? I'm about to die right now. And then he consciously dies. So he forces himself to reincarnate.
Right.
So before that, I'm not sure if this is exact. I'm going to put a bunch of information on this video because I'm not sure if I'm regurgitating this correctly. But if you don't consciously reincarnate, you go into like this thing and then you figure out where you're going to reincarnate later. But if you consciously do it, you end up in the body of another person. And that's what the Dalai Lama does.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't know the specifics of the reincarnation part of it.
Yeah. So typically it takes about 2 to 3 years in order to find the new Dalai Lama, because you don't know where his body reincarnated.
I see.
He was found 4 years later, right? And so you give them the item, they choose the item, if it's correct, of the previous Dalai Lama, and then his living servants have to confirm other things in order for this Dalai Lama to be accepted or for it to be legit that he's the real one.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of different steps. And this is essentially how this guy was chosen.
And also you have to be a pedophile, right?
Yeah.
That's a prerequisite.
Once you get a certain level of power, you have to touch babies, apparently.
Yeah.
So this guy apparently is the most famous Dalai Lama of all.
Right.
Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Yeah.
Right? He also looks like John Amos. He looks like fucking the McDowells.
Yeah, he visited my college when I was in college too.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He tried to kiss you too? Or are you too old?
Yeah. I mean, you were all legal at that point, so.
He was like, shave your mustache. Let me see. What was his ad? Where did he kiss this kid?
I don't know. I don't know where it happened at, but it was pretty disturbing to read that he told him to suck on his tongue.
Dog. So, okay. So I started, when you read things, right?
Yeah.
Now, because the internet is so crazy, I have to double check.
That's exactly what
I'm
like, I was like, this cannot be
clickbait bullshit.
What kind of fucking onion, article is this,
And I open it up and I see this video.
Yeah.
And I'm immediately disgusted.
Yeah.
You have to understand how much fucked up shit we've seen on the internet.
I know.
For me to look at a video and go, what the fuck is happening? And so the idea behind this, right? So the people who are, so there's like this child protective service group out there. They go, listen, in Tibetan culture, they have this thing where sticking out your tongue is like a sign of like a greeting, right? But they're but they said, even then.
Yeah, exactly. That's a fucking stretch. That's a big stretch right there.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
And so I guess what happened was, and once again, I'll put this in the video if you guys can see this information because I don't know the specifics really, but the idea of sticking out your tongue happened from, I guess there was this despotic ruler that was a king that was considered evil.
Mm-hmm.
So that he had a serpent's tongue or a black tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for people to show that they're not with the king, they would stick out their tongue and it became a form of greeting.
Yeah.
Now that is a fat fucking stretch from here.
To suck on my tongue.
Exactly. Okay, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If he was like, meh, right? Cool. But suck on my tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That is very different.
Come here, little boy.
Yo, I don't know how they said, those two things are different.
Yeah.
And so this is the other thing that they were saying. They go, okay, but you guys understand, the Dalai Lama is a reincarnation of 17 generations. You're judging him from times now. You have to judge him from the times from 2,000 years ago, because remember, he's actually that old.
Hey, but he lives in modern times. Doesn't matter if he's 2,000 years old. He lives in 2023.
Bro, and there was one article that I was reading too where, I guess people who are avid followers of him, right, were saying what he was playing playfully with the child, right? The child asked for a kiss. I was like, no. He asked the kid for a kiss. Yeah. Don't fucking gaslight us. Yeah. There's an actual recording of the fucking video. And he's over here touching his face, doing the head thing, kissing him. Oh, you should kiss me here.
Yeah.
He goes, now suck my tongue. I was like, excuse me? Escúchame?
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. He has to be suffering from dementia, because the thing is, all right, maybe he's been a pedophile all along, but now he's kind of losing his faculties a little bit, and it's seeping through the cracks,
That shit was fucking wild, man.
That was definitely.
I can't believe they use the excuse he's actually a gajillion years old because he's reincarnated.
I mean, they're trying to pull out whatever they can to make it seem like it wasn't weird or it wasn't strange. Nah, dog, that was one of the fucking strangest things I've seen this year so far. I still
can't believe he literally looks like the McDowell's owner from Coming to America. He looks like John Amos, bro. Yeah. If anything else, if John Amos died, I'm like, that's where he reincarnated, right fucking there, dude.
Yeah, he's an old motherfucker, man. That's what kind of makes it creepier. The fact that, he
looks really good for his age, though.
He does.
He's 90, almost 90.
Yeah, he does, but he still looks pretty old.
That's what happens when you be kissing babies.
Yeah. No. That's what happens when you want to be kissing babies, but you've been suppressing it till 90.
Maybe
that
he was-
stress starts to show up on the face a little
Dog,
bit.
when he was like, suck my tongue. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait.
Yeah, there's no way to save that. You know, once that's out there in the public, like whether you read about it, you hear about it, you see it, there's no way to save that. There's no way to excuse that. That's fucking weird and pretty fucking disgusting.
I don't know. The way he was looking at that kid looked like he saw a long lost lover. And I did not like that shit. It wasn't even one of the things like, oh, this kid's really cute.
Yeah.
That fool looked like he was in love with that little boy. And I don't fucking like it.
Yeah. It's there was definitely some Jeffrey Epstein energy. Maybe that's
That motherfucker was on that list. He was definitely on that fucking list, dude. It's weird watching I've been watching this. Oh, dog. I couldn't watch this documentary all the way, but it was hard for me to kind of go through it because, I grew up going to church.
Yeah.
And there's this doc on Netflix where there's this very famous Korean pastor, right? Who I heard of this guy when I was younger, right? But, I'm young because this is like in the 80s. So there was even before I was born.
Yeah.
But he's, there's a lot. So if you guys don't know, like Christianity is very, very prevalent in Korea.
Yeah.
Like when you drive around, you just see a bunch of crosses everywhere. Churches are everywhere in
They got
Korea.
those mega churches out there too.
Mega fucking churches,
Yeah.
right? And so whenever there's somebody who, not everybody in a church is good, right? So when there's somebody who gets a hold of it that's really bad, they'll exploit people. So this guy was like the master manipulator, right? Because you already know what happens when a cult, right? You join a cult, the end result is somebody's going to get their dick sucked. That's just how it happens. I don't fucking know why,
At the
but
least.
that's the formula.
Yeah.
So this guy was basically so powerful. He was like on TV, everything. And he was like a power evangelist. And basically he kind of convinced people that he was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Wow.
People said that Jesus Christ was coming again. And he goes, I'm here. And people are fucking crying, clapping their hands. In the beginning of this doc, right, there's a girl who's speaking Korean. I believe she was actually from Hong Kong, but she went over to attend this church and then become one of his disciples.
What's the name of this doc?
I can't even remember. I was so disgusted, but I'll send it to you. Maybe you'll be able to watch it because you didn't maybe grow up going to church when you were a little kid.
Yeah.
So it made me feel really funny. But the girl was just talking about how he would record. There's no way they would have got this audio unless it was him recording it. So he would record them fucking. He would fuck all the girls. All these girls.
He's just recording audio of it?
I think the video and audio.
Okay.
So there was like video clips of girls like in the shower all naked. And obviously their faces were, their bodies blurred. And they're telling him to come in and shower with him.
Yeah.
And then this other girl's like, she's crying and she's talking about this, but he's talking to her in Korean. And this is the part that I was getting heated.
Yeah.
Because he's like asking her like, how many times did you come? Like, did you come? He goes,
Yeah.
I came like 6 or 7 times. This girl's like fucking 16, bro. Fucking disgusting.
The thing is, it's like, the people who are kind of susceptible to that cult setting and kind of getting involved and sucked into that cult life, you got to have some issues for sure. Because like, how do you get convinced that he's another guy is a second coming of Christ? You know what I mean?
That feels like he sells kimbap for a living.
He's a kimbap vendor on the streets during the week. On the weekends, he's a televangelist.
Feels like a fucking dweeb, dude. And he somehow convinced everybody he was the second coming of Jesus Christ, and he was fucking these underage girls.
Some people just have the gift of gab, man. They just have that charisma. They might not be a looker necessarily, but they're just able to talk their way into people's lives and like basically grab them by the hook and own them pretty much, right?
Mariel, when she was in Korea, she told me the story where, there's a Korean series that I watched that's I think is very, very good. It's like a thriller. It's called Kuejo, and it's about Korean religious cults. And it's a whole series. It's not a docuseries, it's like a drama thriller. It's fucking nuts. Really fucking good. And essentially Mariel, when she was in Korea, like you'll see this when you guys go to Korea, in very popular, busy areas, you'll see people try to, evangelize somebody out there. It's actually pretty common. And so
Jesu Cristo.
Yeah. And so Mariel's out there and this lady approaches her and then she's basically trying to convert Mariel, right? And then she's like, oh, do you speak Korean? And she goes, fucking Mariel's goofy ass. She's like speaking to her in a broken Spanish because she doesn't want to talk to her. And they go, oh, we have somebody who speaks Spanish.
Oh, man.
And then
What are the chances, bro?
Yeah. And then she goes, no. Then she starts speaking in English.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some of them can speak English.
Yeah.
And so basically it said like, oh, Jesus Christ is here on earth right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mariel's like obliging them.
Mm.
And she goes, well, where is Jesus Christ? And this lady comes out from the back. It's this old ajama. She goes, it is me. It's this old Korean lady.
Oh, no.
I am here. And Mariel busts up laughing.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't stop laughing because she thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
But dude, there's this woman has somehow amassed a certain amount of followers. How fucking crazy is that shit?
That's what I'm saying, man. Is like to most normal people from the outside looking in, that shit is fucking wild and it's crazy. But you know, there, like I said, there are people who are just susceptible to that kind of thing, to get brainwashed, get sucked into it. I don't know, man. Maybe they had some kind of trauma in their life and this helps. I can't explain it, what it is. But one thing that I feel is usually true in cases like this is those people who become a part of those cults and follow these crazy motherfuckers got some issues of their own, got something wrong with them, you know, and they're looking for something to fix them or fill a void or whatever. But, you know, if I was Mariel, I would have done the same thing. I would have talked to them just for like sheer entertainment. I do that sometimes. I know these people are nuts, but I'm like, I want to see where this is going. You know, let me see what this is about. Yeah.
Jesus Christ was an old fucking 70-year-old Korean lady who works with a kimbap man selling kimchi.
Yeah.
But that shit was fucking weird, man. Like watching, like seeing that little, because at first when that video came out, I don't think that kid's face was blurred. And certain, I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
But then they started blurring his face after. And it was like this young little boy. And
he's 10, right? He was 10 or something.
Yeah, he looked younger to me.
Yeah.
And I was so creeped the fuck out.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's pretty foul, man. When it happens to kids, things that aren't supposed to happen to kids, when it happens, especially like, I don't know, I think I don't just speak for myself when I say this, it's deeply fucking disturbing. You know, when we have like these school shootings and elementary kids are getting slaughtered, it's disturbing on a different level. I'm not saying the loss of like an adult life is any less, important, but it's just like, man, kids should not have to fucking go through something like that, you know?
Okay, so I've been like staying away from like school shooting stuff, but there was like another huge one, right, in Nashville?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened with that?
So he was a bank employee and he knew that he was about to get fired. So he purchased a gun, I think like a week before, and just decided he's going to go in there and shoot these people up, you know?
Where was this at? Was that at elementary school?
Wait.
The Nashville one.
Oh, the Nashville. Oh, so I thought you were talking about the most recent one. I forgot where it happened at, but
there's another one.
Yeah, that just happened this past week.
God damn,
dude! There's been 136 mass shootings already, which 4 or more people got killed. I believe. I think there's been 136 this year already.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's fucking wild. But the school one, that one was the I think the female shooter, right? The one where she like shot through the glass and came in.
Holy no, I didn't read up about any of this shit.
Yeah, so those were the 2 big mass shootings that got headlines over the past few weeks. Yeah, but they released the video of the one that happened at the school, and bro, like the body cam footage when the officers are like, you know, going through the halls and shit like that, and then they have to blur a fucking small little body on the. It's like, it's a fucking like 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid.
That's crazy.
That's laying. You see these small little backpacks, and you're just like, dude, these kids should not have to fucking ever in their life even think about fucking going through something like this. You know,
who did this, and what was the motivation?
That I don't know. I don't know what the motive was with that.
That's fucking crazy. Like when it comes to like news like this, right?
Yeah.
I've read it so much, and I'm not saying that I'm trying to be somebody who's not trying to be like actively involved, and you know.
No, look, man. I don't want to fucking honestly constantly find out about this shit either. You just can't help it, you know. That's why I'm like hazy on the details of that shooting. And
it's a woman?
Yeah, it's a woman shooter. Yeah.
Is this the first female mass shooter?
That I don't know, but it might be, actually. It might be.
28-year-old Audrey Hill once attended this school.
Yeah, that's right. She did attend the school. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't remember what her motive was. We've talked about this multiple times on the podcast. The same thing that I always fucking say to myself when I see this is like, when is enough enough? You know what I mean? How many more fucking children need to die? How many more things need to be put into place to like quote unquote prevent this type of shit? Like there was a lot of saying like things of, oh, that's why there should be only one door in and out. Like they shouldn't have big window. I'm like, no, it just shouldn't be happening, period.
Yeah.
These fucking kids should not have an active shooter drill. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. When we were young, bro, we had earthquake drills. You know what I mean? Like, we had fire drills.
Yeah.
We fucking go under the desk. You know, we stop, drop, and roll. These kids today have fucking active shooter drills. My friend told me, like, his young daughter, when he talked to him about the fucking drills that they have, she called it the bad person drill or something like that.
Yeah.
When there's a bad person on campus, this is what they need to do. I'm like, yo, bro, that's...
Listen to this part. So it says, wait, Nashville gender activist slammed dead naming Audrey Hill. Wait, so this person is trans?
That I don't know.
What the fuck? Wait, hold on. What the fuck is going on right now?
I don't know about that. I don't know if they were trans or not, but
Audrey Hill, a woman whose LinkedIn profile states she prefers the name Aiden and pronounced he and him, gunned down 3 teachers and 3 young children before she was shot dead by police. But he later referred, so Nashville Police Chief John Drake said during a press conference that Hill was a 28-year-old female that lived in Nashville area who identifies as transgender. But he later referred to Hale as a trans woman, suggesting she was a man identifying as a woman, sowing confusion among reporters. Gender identity advocates accused mainstream media news outlets who scrambled to cover the story of Mr. Who the fuck cares?
It's a fucking crazy motherfucker who killed children and teachers, man.
Who the fuck cares? You
man.
fucking weirdo.
Yeah, they don't deserve that type of fucking attention.
Here's the weird thing, right? It's like, so kids just died, and the most important thing that you give a fuck about is the dead naming?
Yeah,
Are you fucking out of your mind?
Exactly. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking?
Who cares if this one individual got fucking dead named? They're a fucking psychopath. How about that?
Exactly. That's the only fucking label they need, you know? A crazy motherfucker who don't, like, these people don't even fucking deserve to get their name put out in the publications, in the news. They don't deserve that type of fucking attention. Let them fucking be nameless. Don't fucking, but, you know, that's just my fucking gripe. I'm sure other people have the same gripe.
They're like, is this person trans? I don't give a fuck what they are.
Yeah,
they're a fucking shooter.
Yeah, let's fucking leave them nameless and leave them out of the fucking head. Like, fuck those people, you know? I mean, because the thing is, it inspires other crazy fuckers to do shit like that because they see the attention and the notoriety that these people get once they do something like that, and then they get inspired by it, and then they do fucking copycat shit, right? But there was that, and then the shooting that I was talking about that happened recently was a bank employee, and yeah, he knew he was gonna get fired, and so he just decided, all right, I'm gonna go and fucking kill these people.
Let me tell you something, man. It's just a bank job. What the fuck?
I mean,
most people quit those jobs.
Yeah, his parents, I guess, are now, they were starting to speak out about like kind of his mental illnesses that he had or something. But either way, like I remember reading an article about it, like where as he was entering the building or something, apparently he told like the first person, this lady that he saw, it's like, you need to get out of here. And then he still shot her anyway. Yeah, so it's like, wait, why are you giving the person a warning and
then blast her?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, so
I think like this is where many people kind of have problems with gun laws, right? It's like, okay, so his parents said that he was mentally unstable, but somehow he got his hands on firearms.
An AR-15.
You know, which is pretty insane, right? Yeah. You know, from what I've kind of gathered from a lot of people, right? Even people who are like gun rights activists, I think like the fine medium that gun activists who do believe in stricter gun laws, they say this. They go, yeah, we should have stricter gun laws. Like crazy people should not be able to get their hands on guns at all whatsoever. And we need to make it way more difficult.
Yeah.
I think for them, what they want also is like, but once you kind of pass all these tests for these stricter gun laws, you should allow us to have the firearms that we want, right? Because if we are sane human beings, we should be able to have our AR-15s or whatever, as long as those laws are in place.
Yeah.
Which that could be the happy medium.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably the best case scenario.
That's like the
in this
best,
country.
like both, you know?
That's probably the best case scenario, but still unlikely.
Yeah.
You know, there's just...
What is the idea of, I wonder what the holdup is on that. Like why isn't it a general consensus that, you know, what, like the test. So if you guys haven't taken a test to obtain a legal firearm, I'm in California. It's pretty fucking easy. Like it's damn fucking easy. And there really isn't like a psychoanalysis done on you to see
there
isn't any at all, to be honest with you.
I don't think there's a uniform process across the country.
Yeah.
And it should be. It should be uniform, right?
And that's not to say like a few people won't slip through the cracks, but if we could minimize that, that would be so much better.
Because there's too much fucking money behind it, bro. Like the NRA lobbies too much. They fucking lined the pockets of so many right-wing politicians, you know? And whenever there's money and power involved, they're going to do everything they can to maximize that and keep growing it, you know? And stricter gun laws mean harder to sell them easily, right? And so they don't want that. They just want kind of like enough in place to kind of save face and be like, yeah, we have these protocols in place, you know? But then once we're talking about kind of going beyond that, it's like, oh, well, now you're asking for too much. Did
you see that video interview? It's not Stephen Colbert. It's
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Jon Stewart's a fucking G. Bro.
Did you see that shit?
Guy. Which one?
Jon Stewart was basically going head to head with somebody who was a gun rights activist, and he was basically dismantling his fucking argument. Like, crazy.
That's what that fucking guy does to anybody. He's
so fucking smart.
He's so fucking smart. And the thing is, it's under this comedic shell that he has, right? And so it's kind of, he lulls you. You know what I mean? Because he kind of plays that game where he kind of acts like he's not as intelligent as he is, right? And then he fucking, like, his arguments are usually pretty flawless, you know?
Yeah.
He's a master debater for sure.
It's weird. Master debater.
Or a masturbator.
Yeah. There's just weird. Yeah, man. And we have talked about this topic to like exhaustion, right? But 136 mass shootings and it's only what, April?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's fucking insane. And look, why does it happen? Because we have that many fucking guns in this country.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking numbers. Look at the data. Look at the statistics. We're by far and wide have the most shootings than any other developed country out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close. The second country is not even close. It's like a bar like this to like that, you know? What's the common denominator here? What the fuck do you think?
Yeah.
What, other people, and we said this before, other countries don't have mentally ill people?
Yeah.
Other countries don't have crazy people? Other countries don't have problems? Other countries don't have people with gripes and issues? No, they fucking do. But they don't fucking have access to firearms the way the United States does.
And it's kind of interesting too. I know, like passing your driver's license is harder than getting your gun, dude.
I know, right?
Really fucking crazy.
Depending also on which DMV you go to, because some DMVs, like the driving instructors are a motherfucker. You know, they're super picky and like got an attitude.
Yeah.
And
my first driving, when I went to the DMV to do the test, the first person, the fucking biggest bitch I have ever met in my life. Yeah. You stank breath, snackle tooth hoe. I fucking hated.
You know
that
what it
bitch.
is, bro? It's a power trip. They have that little bit of power and it goes to their head and they're on it, you know?
She fucking failed me, dude. I wanted to just this fucking Jabba the Hutt looking bitch
my God.
sitting there just melting in her fucking seat.
Yeah.
Just checking all this other stuff. Well, I would normally let you pass this, but today I'm not in that mood. think like she would say shit like that.
Wow.
And I sat here like I remember. So I went to go take the test again, right? And the other driver instructor was fine. She was like, "Oh, you did a great job." And I'm like, "That's not what the last ladies told me." And they're like, they knew who it was. That dude knew who that fucking lady was. They're like, "Oh, I forgot what her name was." And I was like, "Yeah, how do you know her?" They're like, "Listen, we don't even like her around here. Like she's not, she's been working here for a long time. She's not going to get fired." And they're like, people, whoever gets, she fucking fails everybody.
Bro, like when I was like getting my permit and driver's license, all that too, there would be kind of like word spreading around which DMV locations not to go to, because there's, those instructors there who are assholes and like have are known to fail people just because they're dicks. So like you would avoid those DMVs to go take the driver's test at, and then go to places that are known to be a little bit more lenient or just normal. Just have normal people without this fucking sass and attitude for no
fucking
reason.
Looked like the caterpillar from A Bug's Life, dog. I fucking hated her. Dog.
Looked like the fucking Mucinex.
Mucinex. Fucking booger faced lady. Dude, there's some people out there who are so fucking miserable. They just want everybody to be miserable with them.
Know, man. And look, bro, if like whatever it is you're doing in your life, it makes you that miserable and you hate it that much, if possible, because I know it's not always possible, do something about it. Make a fucking change instead of like fucking ruining other people's day or trying to ruin other people's. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if it's a conscious effort to like, I'm going to ruin somebody else's day today. And maybe it's just they're so fucking miserable and they hate their jobs, hate their life so much that that's their fucking attitude, And
it's weird, man. Like, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been around these type of people where if you achieve something great in your life, like, or if you are happy, they always have like some type of weird side comment to say when, they make it, it's like in guise of them trying to celebrate you, but it sounds salty as fuck.
For sure. It's like a backhanded compliment at best, right? At best.
I hate those type of people, dude.
I mean, but the thing is, bro, especially these days, in the age of social media, everybody has something to say, right?
Oh, everybody does.
Yeah.
Dog, there's somebody that I had to cut out in the last year where this guy, so fucking annoying. Every time you meet this dude, right, he's either complaining about his wife or his kids, right? And I'm like, dog, should you be saying this shit about your fucking family to us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, my fucking kids, this and that. Oh, my wife, blah, 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 she doesn't do this. I'm like, you're kind of an asshole, dog. I wouldn't want to be married to you either, you fucking dick.
Yeah.
And this guy, it's like the problem with people like that too is that it's always everybody else's fault. It's not theirs.
Exactly.
So no matter what happens to them, there's no personal responsibility. It's not, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said this, and that, right? This guy, I have literally had to check his ass in public at like dinners because of the way that he would like speak to his wife in front of us. Because I'm not trying to stand up for his wife. I'm more like likely just trying to enjoy my meal. I was like, dog.
It's like, let's talk about something else, bro. How about that?
Like it would be like personal relationship stuff that he should be keeping between him and his wife, but he's putting it out for us at this table.
Or fucking be talking to like a marriage counselor about,
Dog, he's so fucking dumb. This guy's so stupid that I remember that he comes up, he goes, yeah, I'm finally talking to a therapist. And I'm like, that's funny because you're still the same piece of shit, right? I'm like, oh, what did your therapist say? And he starts going into all this weird mysticism shit. I'm like, wait, who is your therapist? He was like, it's my chiropractor. I'm like, dog, I'm literally gonna stab you.
Wait, what? No,
I'm dead serious.
No.
I'm dead serious.
He said was he serious though?
He was dead. This is how dumb he's dumb.
Wow.
He said his chiropractor is his therapist.
So he just decides I'm going to give him that title. And then that's the reality now. That's the truth.
Yes. That's how insane he is. At first it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you need to leave me. You need to get the fuck out of my life.
Wow.
This is my fault too, because I tend to like really weird people.
Yeah.
And at first it's funny, but then when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, oh, you need to be cut out.
No, but the thing is, I like weird people too. I mean, shit, you know me, I'm fucking weird myself, right? But you got to kind of draw the line on that weirdness. And if somebody's telling me their chiropractor is their therapist, I might give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, so your chiropractor is also a licensed therapist? No, just my chiropractor.
My chiropractor.
That's it.
Who does like Asian mysticism type of stuff.
I don't care if I just got my plate, I'm getting up. to-go box, please. I'm out of there. Dude.
This guy is so fucking weird too. Like he has a problem. He's so dumb. He actually doesn't. What we found out too is he would use words that he doesn't know what they mean, and then he would get mad at us for not understanding what the fuck he's saying. And the problem with somebody that stupid is that they think that they're smart.
Right. Well, see, that's when it gets like infuriating. Is that when they're not, their IQ is not too high, but they think they are. They're delusional into thinking that they're very intelligent and every fucking word that comes out of their mouth should be gospel. That's when it's crazy.
Bro, he would say some shit like, I'll get that to you ASAP in about 4 weeks. And I'm like, hold on a second.
Hey, motherfucker. What do you think ASAP stands for?
What does ASAP mean? It means as soon as possible. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, so you just say words?
No,
so,
he didn't even know what fucking ASAP stood for.
So he'll hear other people say words that he thinks is really smart.
Yo, you cannot be serious. This guy's not real, bro.
I'm not lying, dog.
That is crazy.
So, you gotta understand, for a weird person like me, being around somebody like this is very entertaining. But when it started to come into a part where it's very toxic, I was like, okay, now you gotta go. But you gotta understand. From my perspective, you gotta know why I keep this guy around. That's fucking hilarious.
It is funny. I'm not gonna fucking lie, bro. I've dated girls too where I'm like, oh man, I'm about to stick my dick into some crazy, but just out of curiosity, just to see like how, like I already know she's crazy. There's a fucking weird part of me that wants to know how crazy are you though. And then once I see that, I'm like, yep, that's what I thought. And then I'm fucking out of there.
Once it got to the point with this individual where we figured out that he just, he's kind of a downer to be around because he wants everybody to pity him. He wants everybody to think that he's the hardest working person in the fucking room. Everything's a dick measuring contest.
Right.
We're like, oh, now you gotta go. Because before it was just funny, Mr. ASAP guy.
Yeah. Mr. ASAP. Yeah. That's his fucking nickname.
And, for me too, like you gotta understand, like when you're that fucking dumb, of course I'm gonna make fun of you all the time.
Yeah.
This fool came up to me, he goes like, why do you always make fun of me?
Why is that? Well, here's the thing though. To his defense, I mean, even though I don't want to defend a dude like that, in his mind, there's nothing wrong that he's doing.
Exactly.
So he has no fucking clue why you're being so mean.
He doesn't even get the jokes.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand because he thinks he's the smartest person. And I'm like, holy shit, you're fucking dumb, bro.
I mean, look, bro, if he's like that, not self-aware, how can he possibly understand that you're joking? To him, it's just you're being mean. You're just bullying him,
And like everybody's thinking that he understands the jokes, but he doesn't get it. And I'm like, oh, you're like, when I basically said he was dumb, people think it's an insult. No, I don't mean that as an insult. I'm factually stating
it's a matter of fact
that he is actually stupid. He's like, I'm not sure if anybody out there has actually met somebody who's legit dumb.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy shit, you're actually dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you get dumbfounded because you're like, I cannot believe the fucking words that are coming out of your mouth right now. Like, but that is fascinating. And that's the part where it triggers us, that it triggers that fucking curiosity. Let me see how deep this hole goes.
There's like a litany of things that I have where this guy has used a word where I just knew it by the blank stare in his eyes that he didn't know what that word meant, but he wanted to use it because he wanted to sound like he was smart.
Oh, man.
And it's very funny when you see somebody do that. He'll be like, for example, like ASAP. He goes, I'll get that to you ASAP in 4 weeks. And you have to pause and think, he doesn't know what the word ASAP means.
It's like Z saying all the crazy shit, except Z's not dumb. He's Swedish. He has a pass.
Exactly.
He doesn't know the American, slang and culture. But like he kind of hears it, regurgitates it, and it comes out in this funky way in his Swedish brain into like.
You guys will find out too, having people that stupid around you is actually very dangerous. Like you can't trust these type of people.
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't ever.
You can't trust them with fucking anything.
Yeah.
They tend to be pretty conniving because they don't understand. Like they have zero empathy because in their mind they can rationalize every bad thing that they do, right? Because they're always right.
Yeah, I mean that's just that's usually a separate toxic trait. But like when you combine all of those toxic traits together into one entity, this very fascinating black hole of a human being, Mr. ASAP, that's when it's, you're done. You're done. I got to draw that line here.
There's like so many other stories that I have with this person. Like I can't even remember them, but I have them written down on my phone because how hilarious it is. Because it's like script-worthy things. I'm like, this motherfucker's Michael Scott from The Office.
Oh my God.
Because it's funny to watch it from the outside.
Right.
But everybody in the office had to deal with this terrible boss.
Yeah. No. I've heard people say multiple times that they can't watch The Office because they've had a manager or a boss like Michael Scott, and it's just too real for them. Like it infuriates them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the comedy doesn't come across. It's like, no, fuck this guy. Like I used to fucking work under a guy like this,
Dog, I don't know, man. It's my fault though. I be giggling and laughing at people too much. It makes me very entertaining.
No, you're too curious. That's the problem. Just like me, man. I told you, my curiosity has definitely got me into binds just because and I know I'm putting myself in a precarious situation, but like the curiosity gets the best. I gotta scratch that itch,
Mm-hmm.
And then once that itch is scratched though, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like what else did I expect?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then there have been times where it's more than I bargained for. Where,
of course.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that met my curiosity and then some.
Now you got to cut them out. Dude.
Yeah.
But this weekend was, I know a lot of you may not watch MMA, but okay. So I was first of all, let me tell you this thing that fucking happened, right? So I was at the Brandon Lee. If you don't know who Brandon Lee is a half Mexican, half Korean kid, super young in his younger 20s. So far undefeated, 28-0. And I got invited out to go watch his fight in this private little suite. It's cool. Bart and Jill
Thanks for
were
the
there.
invite, bro.
Listen, it was either that or the UFC fight. Which one would you have watched? So we were there, and then let me tell you something. If you guys have never seen like fighters fight in real life, it's very different from TV. If you think they're fast on TV, when you see it in person, you literally don't know what the fuck is happening. And, for me, because I watch so much boxing, when you watch amateur boxers, you can kind of already tell what's going to happen in the fight, right? And I watched a lot of boxing in the last year or two. And so I was with Khalif, and I was like literally telling Khalif, I'm like, that guy's going to get knocked out probably in the second round, if not the first. And then like all these younger fighters who are pros, but you could tell they're beginners. I called every way the fight was going to be stopped. I called it 10 for 10.
Yeah.
But then when it started getting into the main card with high level people, I couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't know who's hitting what. I don't know who's rolling what. And then, people are screaming. I'm like, what are you screaming? And they were watching because, we're in the suite. You can't even see what they're getting hit with because they're so fucking fast. Yeah. But there was one pro fight that was not on the card. They had in between waiting for the main card to start. Mm-hmm. It was these two heavyweights. And Khalif is watching this fight. Khalif doesn't watch a lot of fighting. And I said, okay, these are two heavyweights. They're both overweight. The other guy's super fucking overweight, and he looks overweight in a sloppy type of way. Mm-hmm. And his technique was super sloppy.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's going to overthrow, and that guy's going to knock him out. Guess what happens in like the first round?
Yeah.
He overthrows, the guy slips, and he fucking, like Francis Ngannou uppercuts the living life out of him.
Yeah.
And then he falls out, and like $1 Million Baby, his head falls out of the ring, and it snaps.
Oh, shit.
So we thought he died.
Yeah.
We actually thought he died.
Yeah.
Because he could not move. He wouldn't get
He was out cold.
He was out cold. So imagine the ring and his neck snap like that.
Right.
And so they had to put a brace on him, and they had to stretch this like 270-pound dude out. I thought he died, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me. Like, when you're fighting at a high level, right? Whether they're good or not, high level meaning a pro boxing level.
Yeah.
Don't you think you would dedicate your life to not getting killed? This fool came out, titties swanging.
Yeah.
Right? Sloppy as fuck. I'm like, why the fuck do you want to be a boxer if you're not going to dedicate yourself to this fucking sport?
Yeah, but sometimes physique can be deceiving, right? I mean,
100%, but he was no Andy Ruiz. And like the biggest like tell sign that you could see for heavyweights who aren't really good at that low level is that when they're super out of shape, and you could already, in the first 30 seconds, that guy's hands were down to his waist.
For sure.
It wasn't him trying to fucking rope a dope. Wasn't him trying to shoot low jabs.
Yeah.
Wasn't his style. It was straight up because he was tired. First 30 seconds, he couldn't keep his hands up. I'm like, oh, you're one of those out of shape heavyweights.
Exactly. you look at a guy like Tyson Fury, who does not have the best physique.
Amazing.
But the reason why he's in the position he's in and has, the accolades that he does is because he fucking dedicates himself to the craft.
Because I'm not saying that if you're big, you can't be a great heavyweight, right? I'm saying everything else has to be that much better.
Exactly. But that's a difference that you're establishing right now, is that you can look out of shape, but like if you're not putting in the work, that's going to show real quick.
Exactly. And that dude, first 30 seconds was gassed.
Yeah.
Gassed out of his mind. And I'm like, dog, you're going in there to get your face smashed in. And heavyweights hit hard.
Yeah.
That dude, I'm pretty sure, I think from what I saw, they thought that he was paralyzed because he couldn't move his legs.
Holy shit.
It was that fucking bad, dog.
Damn.
So
that's fucking scary, man.
Scary as shit. I literally thought I witnessed somebody die.
Yeah.
But Brandon Lee came out with a W, but during that time, the Adesanya fight was happening, UFC 287.
Yeah.
And you have to understand something, right? If you have never watched the fight before, right? Watch every press conference and everything else leading up to Adesanya and Pereira's first fight and second fight, because the story behind it was so fucking powerful. Listen, I was watching the boxing match and out of respect, I didn't watch the UFC 287 while the boxing match was happening, right? I'll be honest. I wasn't very interested in the boxing match. Right? Because I wanted to watch UFC 287.
Yeah, I mean, I was fucking hyped up for that.
So little Jason Chen was there, tiny little Jason Chen. And I grabbed his tiny little shoulders because he was watching it.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't you fucking say anything.
Yeah.
He goes, okay. But it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't say shit, Jason. I fucking love you.
Yeah.
But don't say shit. So I'm driving and I'm watching the fight as I'm driving. So I see it going. I'm like, okay, I'm too excited. I pull over.
Yeah.
And I'm on the side of the street and I'm watching it. And then I witnessed fucking history.
Yeah.
It is insane in the emphatic fashion in which Adesanya beat Pereira. Background story, Adesanya has kickboxed professionally, right? Amazing phenom. Has fought Pereira twice in kickboxing and lost to him twice.
Right.
First time he fought him,
he won.
He won that shit.
Yeah.
I watched that shit so many times, even before I knew who
Bad decision.
Pereira was.
Yeah.
That was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
There's not a single person who watches that kickboxing match and agrees that Pereira won.
Yeah.
Right? Second time, Adesanya basically almost knocks his ass out.
He gave him he got saved by the standing A count.
Dog, the ref fucking stopped him in between when he's about to connect.
Yeah.
And then he breaks it up. I'm like, hold on a second. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
So he got saved. And then Pereira knocks Adesanya out.
That left hook. That fucking monstrous, terrifying left hook.
And Adesanya was fucking him up.
Yeah. He was winning the fight for sure. Same thing in the third one.
So Pereira comes over to the UFC.
Well, before even talking about him coming, the reason why he did come to chase Adesanya was because Adesanya fucking said, nobody even knows who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is still living in the past talking about me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm way past that. I'm a fucking champion now. He got motivated. He's like, oh yeah? All right, we're going to fucking see. So Adesanya saying that drove him to come chase him.
So he comes over to the UFC, finds Adesanya. He beats Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
He's a top 10 middleweight in emphatic fashion. Knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Basically, is knocking everybody the fuck out. Flying knees, you name it, right? They get matched up, which is...
And let's give Izzy credit there. He fast tracked him to a title fight.
100%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for him. It's a way for him to kind of cement his legacy.
Yeah.
Pereira wins by TKO, right? In this 5-round fight in which, honestly, Adesanya was winning 4 rounds to 5.
Yeah.
Right? And in the 5th round, he fucking TKOs Adesanya. Now, arguably, Adesanya says that I was still awake.
Right.
Okay, like it's hard for me to see that.
Yeah.
Because he was getting cracked like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Maybe Adesanya, he was still conscious.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
I think there's an opening to say he could have pulled it out, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. So we never would have known.
Right.
Maybe he would have clinched him up, taken him to the ground. Maybe he would have done something to survive that round.
Right.
And even if he did get beat up, but he survived that round, he still would have retained his belt.
Yeah.
Right? So Adesanya, having defended his belt consistently 6 or 7 times at that point, loses his belt to this guy who has haunted him from his kickboxing career all the way to the UFC.
Spanning like what, fucking 15 years of fighting or some shit, you know?
And so now Adesanya has come back and everybody was doubting him, right?
They were clowning him so hard, bro.
They were clowning the shit out of him. And here's the thing. What I really loved about this too, right, was everything leading up to this fight. If you ever wanted to be motivated to go for something in your life, you should watch this fight because Adesanya now is the underdog. Not even on the betting cards, he wasn't.
He
right?
wasn't, yeah.
But just the conversation that was happening around him.
Yeah, it was like almost a foregone conclusion. Like,
yeah,
everybody wrote him like, dude, do you guys not remember what the fuck this guy has done?
I wrote him off too. I mean? Listen, the only reason why, but there was so at this point, I really thought that Pereira was going to beat Adesanya. And it was from a conversation that Pereira said. Pereira was talking to an interviewer. Somebody was interviewing him. He says, listen, there are certain people in your life that you will just never, ever beat.
Right.
He goes, when I was fighting professional kickboxing, there was a guy that I could not beat. And in fact, he hasn't been kickboxing or fighting in years. But if he and I stepped into this ring right now, he would beat me again. I am that person for Adesanya. He is that person for Robert Whittaker. He will never beat me.
Yeah.
And I took that shit to heart. But then I saw this interview of Adesanya.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the pre-fight conference. And he goes, he's looking at the camera and he looks like a crazy person.
Yeah.
He looks deranged.
Yeah.
He goes, everybody's doubting me. But he goes, but what if I knock him the fuck out? What if I did? And I looked at him like, I think Adesanya's going to win from that look.
Yeah.
Because he looked hungry.
Dude, he had that fire in his eyes. He looked possessed for sure.
He looked fucking insane.
Yeah.
This motherfucker was speaking Nigerian and all this other shit. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
He looks like the fucking warrior.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's why he kept saying now the hunters become the hunted.
And
I
loved it.
Yeah.
Just this whole saga.
The whole story behind it, man, is fucking epic.
This man just hunted Izzy down, stripped his belt from him. And the way in which Izzy won, it wasn't a few touches. It was a rope-a-dope against the cage, overhand right to a fucking hook, to a fucking Thor's hammer fist right to his jaw.
He said from the gods.
From the gods.
He said hammer fist from the gods,
And then he knocks him out.
With the arrow. Dude, that was the most fucking epic, like, finishing move, bro. I was like, wow.
Bro, I was in the car. I teared up.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. I got a little choked up too. I don't tear up, but I got choked up,
Heartless son of a bitch. I teared up, dog. Watching him win made me feel like I could do anything.
And the post-conference speech, or a post-fight speech.
How amazing was that? And he pulled that shit right out of his ass.
Joe Rogan never gives him the mic.
Ever.
But he said to him, respectfully, Joe, like, I just got something to say. I'll give the mic right back. Joe didn't even hesitate. He's like, here you go. I've never seen Joe. I've seen people trying to take the mic away from him. Mm-hmm. He has that iron grip on it. You're not taking that from Joe,
like that speech was so fucking important because I think that it's like he was basically saying that, there are these moments in your life that makes life worth living.
Right.
But you have to be the one to go out there and find it.
You got to go for it.
Yeah. And he goes, this is that moment for me. Yeah. He goes, I get to relive these moments over and over again. But this is what you should be fighting for. You need to make this shit happen for yourself.
Right.
And these moments exist for you. That shit made me fucking feel amazing.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to describe to people what I mean by like, when I get something, I get it done, I move on to the next one it's because that's what I chase all the time.
Yeah.
I chase for that fucking feeling.
Right.
Whether it was in the film, whether it was in YouTube, to podcasting, all the way to, Clothing with Secret Society, Jumbi Matcha. I've done this multiple times and I'm trying to do it over and over again.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what it is, it's just whatever I choose it to be.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that I feel like people kind of miss when they try things out, right? They forget that there is this feeling that you get when you are highly successful at something that people feel like you cannot do.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Right.
How he won was fucking insane.
You couldn't have written it better. You really couldn't have written it better. It was so fucking epic. Probably one of the most epic like storylines that I've witnessed in my life when it comes to MMA, right? I can't think of anything that's more again, using the word epic, more epic than that. It was just a fucking incredible start to finish. And I think that speech was so important for the reasons you just mentioned, but also serving as a reminder for the young kids, the young generation in this day and age where they only see the end result and they think it's so easy to achieve. No, it was important for him to mention, like, you going for it. You can't just expect this to happen. You can't think that it's easy, right? He put in the fucking work. He said he's drove himself to like the brink of insanity, you know, to make sure that he was prepared and he needed to get to where he needed to be to put this guy down the way he did, you know? And he has his channel, the Freestyle Bender on YouTube. So like he doesn't need to be talking about it, but there's documentation. You could see the training and the work that he's putting in to get to where he is. And that's a very important reminder. It's like, don't forget what you got to do to get to that result, to find that happiness, to achieve that moment. The work needs to fucking be there. And I feel like a lot of times in this day and age, there's that gap between wanting something and the result.
Yeah.
And you forget that whole fucking middle part, you know?
It was just like, how picture perfect of a moment could that have been, man? And how symbolic for him. How relieved do you think he felt? He goes, not by decision, by fucking ice
he sent
cold.
him to the shadow realm, you know?
That motherfucker woke up in fucking Wakanda, dude.
Yeah.
That fool woke up.
Whenever somebody wakes up with the angry face, you know, because when he got up, he was like, you know, they were came back from the shadow realm, bro. That is like a sign of a vicious knockout.
Knocked out dead, cold, dude.
Because that first, and the thing is, I was talking to you about this
before. It was the same way that he
he
almost knocked him out the first time.
In the first fight. And it almost was how Izzy got fucking TKO'd in the first fight, right? It looked eerily the fucking same, except this time Izzy had that extra 5 seconds.
You guys have to watch how beautiful that shit is, right? So he's literally pressed up against this cage, right?
Yeah.
His guard is high.
Yeah.
He's getting hit.
But he's looking. He's aware.
He's getting liver shot, knee up the middle, and he's getting rocked a little bit.
Caught a hook. Yeah.
And then he gets shifted off to the side. And then Izzy waits for the small
finds
opening,
that opening and
he does his small little check hook, right?
Yeah.
So the check hook lifts Alex Pereira's chin up.
Yep. And
then the overhand connects. He throws Alex Pereira's head into his overhand.
Right.
And right to the fucking temple.
Yeah.
If you've never been hit in the temple before, like your whole equilibrium goes off.
Right.
It's really weird. Like
dude, his body went like this and then it came back up.
The feeling is weird. Like it just feels odd. You can't really describe it, but the whole room starts to spin.
Oh, it's like vertigo.
Yeah.
If you've ever experienced vertigo before.
He's falling, right? He's falling and he connects another hook.
Yeah.
Right. Bink.
The thing is, he fucking bounced himself off the cage to get that extra momentum for the, you know, and that one landed flush on the ear. So like that was it. He was Alex's lights were turning out as he was falling. And then as soon as he landed, the fucking hammer fist from the gods. And then out.
Super necessary.
Shadow realm.
super necessary.
That was super necessary.
And then he goes up to his kid and he goes, hey, look.
He said he mentioned that too. He's like, dude, I'm just being petty. I'm a fucking petty person. I had to do it.
I fucking love that moment, man.
Yeah.
Listen, fight fan or not, you should just watch that trilogy, or I guess it's a quadrilogy.
Yeah.
But watch all the UFC embeds that led up to that to give you the backstory of how satisfying that is. And I guarantee you, if you don't wake up motivated tomorrow, you are a loser. Right? There's no fucking way. And this, like his speech really transfers over to everything that you do in life. It's so
for sure.
fucking good.
Universal. And that's why he asked Joe for the mic. And the thing is, Izzy said like, he didn't even have that speech prepared.
Yeah.
He just, in that moment, he had to say what he felt. Yeah, exactly.
Dog, it was so fucking beautiful, man. I got to tell you, dude, I never want to be a fighter for sure. I don't ever watch that and say I want to fight. I fucking pulled my oblique kicking a bag the other day. And that shit fucking hurt.
That's your Alex Pereira right
That was the bag.
Yeah.
I tried punching today.
Yeah.
Nah, dog, that shit cramped up super fast. There was a guy who was a PT that was speaking to my comments. He goes, that's like a 5-week injury, dude. Like, you got to chill.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Because it hurt in that video. Right when I threw it, and by the way, I threw my whole life into that low kick. Wow. And it was beautiful. Sat back down and then.
But see, that's the thing, man. You know, we keep learning this the hard way over and over. as we get older, you know, we're
say
knocking
that,
on
dog.
40's door, right? Like you forget in your mind that, you know, you're a little bit older, a little bit more fragile, and you still think you could do the same thing that you did even a year ago or 2 years ago, and you learn real quick. That motherfucker humbles you real quick. Like, nah, motherfucker.
I'm not even that old, dog. I'm 35, son. Ha! Dog, I fucking threw my life force into that kick, dog. And then I just felt this sharp ass pain. I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, oh, I think I tore something. And that shit hurt so fucking bad.
Hey, man, I'm fucking dealing with the injured shoulder that I hurt somehow from sleeping. I don't even know how the fuck that happened, bro.
You old fool. I got my ass beat by a punching bag at least. Shit was worse.
I got my ass beat by my pillow.
Well, speaking of fucking
Israel ass beat.
Israel Adesanya, man. We all know Israel Adesanya. Like, it's so crazy how he just like derives a lot of his strength for fucking Naruto, right? And I don't give a fuck what any fucking weeb says to me, right? Naruto is not that great of a fucking anime. You motherfuckers, all right, you little fucking get mad at me for saying this.
And that's coming from a big anime fan.
Dog, so I have watched, listen, I'm such a big anime fan. I have watched One Piece since the first fucking episode, right? And I love Naruto growing up, right? I know he's doing all these Rock Lee references, whatever, whatnot.
Yeah.
Naruto had its moments. But the shitty thing about Naruto was that 80% fillers, 20% episodes. And the animation, unless it was a very important episode, was fucking trash. It just carried on too long. It was about a young boy that wanted to fuck his best friend. I just got over it. I got fucking over it.
Yeah, I never got into Naruto too.
It was because look, you got to watch 300 episodes of pure nonsense, right? And then you'll get to watch some of the greatest episodes you'll ever see in your life in terms of animation for maybe 10 episodes, right? Which sucks. But speaking of, one of my favorite animes of all time, story-wise, just the antagonist, the protagonist, everything about this is a classic, is fucking Death Note.
Oh, man. Yeah.
If you haven't watched, you could watch it on Netflix because it's on Netflix.
Not the live action one, guys.
Please don't ever watch that.
The actual anime. Watch the anime. Death
Note is like is a thriller, right? I'm not going to ruin it or spoil it if you haven't watched it. And if you're an anime fan, you have definitely watched Death Note. That is in the lexicon of one of the greatest short series animes of all time.
Like, yeah, top 5. Like, it's not even arguable.
Yeah,
you know, easily.
So, I've teased this before. Every Genius Brain Secret Society release that we do, you know, it's kind of hard to, I don't want to say top the previous one, right? Because they're all different. They're very important, like little parts of my life. This one right here, as you see this one back here, was inspired by the trip to Korea.
Right.
So it plays a very important role in my life. Anime was a big part of my life and still is till this day. And one of the hardest things that I find is to not find a generic anime t-shirt, right? That just, number one.
Or just not a non-gaudy design.
Exactly.
You know? It's like sometimes they try to do too much.
Way too much.
Yeah.
So an ode to my like love for anime growing up and to one of the best animes of all time that also works with like the Secret Society aesthetic, we're doing a Death Note Secret Society Genius Brain collab. I fucking love this shit so fucking much.
Yeah.
This one, obviously, I love too. And by the way, if you ever fucking deny the quality of our shit, this has been washed like fucking 20 times.
Yeah.
And look at this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
If you take care of our stuff, it lasts forever.
Always make sure to follow the care instructions. We always have them listed on the listing itself for the items. But yeah, kind of going back to what you're talking about with this collaboration, you know, Dave and I were talking about kind of the next iteration, right, of the Genius Brain collab. What is it going to look like? Are we going to continue off the Korean heritage thing? Are we going to do something completely different? And so, you know, we always start at like the basics. And the basics is what inspires you, you know, because it has to draw from that. That's the biggest thing. It has to be a something that impacts your life, that's been an inspiration at some point in your life, whether it's, you know, from the beginning or as you got older, right? But it has to have a big enough impression on you where it's like, yeah, it's that important to me. And then we started talking about anime, you know?
Yes. And by the way, I think one of the things that like Secret Society does really well is like we kind of fill the gap in between the like a lot of the things that people want to have, but they don't have the quality that you want for it. Every fucking anime shirt that I've had, right, is the shittiest fucking t-shirt I've ever had.
So disappointing, man.
It's so bad.
Because I have a Cowboy Bebop tee, right? I was like, dude, this is actually a pretty dope design, but like they fucked up on the print color. The t-shirt quality is
scratchy.
Yeah, scratchy as a motherfucker. The fit is weird. I'm like, why you guys got to do it like come on, man. Like pay homage, proper homage. Like you're doing this. Okay, you know what? Some people are just doing it to fucking cash grab, right? But if you're doing this because you really love whatever series it is, pay proper homage to it, man. Do it fucking justice, you know? And that's the thing. I think at this point, people have come to expect like a certain level of quality and craftsmanship and attention to detail from us, right? And that's something that we try to always fucking go over again and again and again, fine tune it, refine it. And so when we started talking about this idea, you know, it was exciting because it's like, okay, Death Note is like one of his all-time favorites, one of my all-time favorites. I'm sure a lot of people's one of all-time favorites, right? But more than that, it's not like, oh, what are we trying to do that's popular that people like? No. We personally like this shit. So if you don't like it, oh well. But you know, that's a big reason why we're doing it. And it's like, okay, so how are we gonna marry that, you know, that the genius brain aspect of it and the secret society aspect of it, and then come up with an aesthetic that fits in line, right, with the brand that accommodates both brands. And I feel like we fucking nailed it.
Dog, we have a sample here.
Yeah, so we have a sample on one of, this is a throwaway tee. This isn't the actual tee. We just ran this to see how it came. Because here's the thing. We had an idea for how we wanted to do it, which is the puff print. And we thought the details that we have in the illustration and design, the puff print would really fucking make this pop. And so we ran a sample. This is the very first sample. Shit, maybe we'll even do a giveaway on this, like as like a sentimental piece. Yeah. This is the very first sample that we ran. And we will start with the front here. You guys may have seen this logo that we teased. That we teased. Yeah, you got the Secret Society, Genius Brain, and you got Ryuk here. You know, that's his outline.
The Shinigami, the death
Shinigami,
god.
Yeah. And then, boom.
That's just so fucking sick
Look
right there.
Look at this shit.
It's all puff print, by the way, which is fucking very difficult.
Yeah.
Look at how intricate this shit is.
Yeah. Pretty much all the main characters are here. And then we got the numbers here. And then we have, the logos again here. But this shit looks fucking incredible. And when you guys see it in person too, like it pops in a different way.
And once again, of course, it's going to be the dopest shirts, right? Quality is going to be amazing. Same as if you got your hands on the, God, I love this shirt. If you got your hands on this same quality tee, like that in and of itself is going to be probably the best like anime inspired shirt that you'll ever fucking have.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on, man. Honestly, like objectively, if I was not involved, I said the same shit about that. Objectively, if I was not involved and I saw somebody wearing that, I'd be like, yo, that's fucking dope.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry. It's fucking dope. And we have this, we're going to have the black on white and then also white on black, 2 colorways like we did last time. And we're also going to have hats. How many hats? That is TBD. We don't know exactly yet. We're going to have 2 colorways, a black one and then a black-white one. Yeah, like we did with the Genius Brain, but they're going to be foam truckers this time around. Because we were thinking too, like what style of hat would best complement what we're doing with the designs and the look and feel we're going for. And the foam truckers work the best. You guys will see why we decided to go with that. Because those, we're going to run a sample. Today is Wednesday, right? So I think sometime next week, we're going to see a sample because we want to do something specific on it and we don't know if it's going to work yet. But if it does work, oh, trust me, shit's going to look fucking sick.
Yeah.
You know?
And so for these two, these are all going to be pre-orders.
Yeah. We're going to run it the exact same way that we did with the first one. Yeah. We're going to give you, well, our subscribers, first of all, are going to get the dibs. They're going to get the early access with the pre-orders. And then we'll open it up. We don't know exactly how the pre-orders are going to run just yet. Like we got to figure that out, and then we got to figure out the timeline because we don't know exactly what the production schedule is going to look like yet. But make sure you're subscribed, and we'll definitely give you guys an update on it once we figure those things out.
Yeah, if you're on the email list, you guys get first dibs on everything. So when it's kind of a way for us to just make sure that people who fuck with us get the stuff first, right? Obviously, we're not a huge company, so when things run out of sizes, people, well, where are the sizes? You didn't sign up for the email.
Yeah,
if you didn't sign up for the fucking email, everybody's going to take the shit, and so that's kind of what's been happening.
Yeah. And look,
we're trying.
It's not like we're not on this. Oh, we're trying to limit things. No, we just have limited resources. So there's only so many things we can do.
Like that.
Yeah, and so many pieces we can make, right?
Yeah.
And when we're trying to do like a full-on collection with multiple colors, multiple designs, like multiple bodies, you can't run thousands of pieces on each. We just don't have that type of resource. Hopefully we will.
Yeah.
We will, but.
And I love like the whole anime thing too, because like, when I was younger, like, anime wasn't big, man. And if you watched anime, people talked about that shit.
You're like
secrecy.
a nerd or like a fucking geek.
Yeah, it's secret society is what we did. We had a secret society for that shit.
You needed to be in a secret society too.
Exactly. So it was like one of those things that wasn't really popular, right? But then the people who really loved it, they loved it a lot. Now, obviously, I'm not as... Listen, I thought I was a big anime fan until I went to like an anime con.
Oh.
And I found out that I am nothing.
Yeah.
I thought I was a big anime fan and I couldn't.
You ain't about that life, dog.
I'm not like that. And look, I fucking loved going to that thing because it was weird, but I liked watching them all be so happy as they got to connect with all their other friends who were like super into this shit. Because I feel like, how much they're into it, it gets made fun of. Like if they're walking around in public with like fucking bunny ears, you know what I mean? And then, they got like a Naruto costume on. It's a little weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they're in their element at this anime expo or the anime con, they feel fucking...
you get to share it with other people who are just as passionate and love and not be judged for it. You know what I mean? I always say, man, if it's not illegal and you're not hurting anybody else, hey, do you. You do what makes you happy, man. And it's like, when I see that, I know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not about that life, but when I see it, I'm like, hey, I'm happy for you. Yeah, man. So like anime always played like a super, like really fun, important part of my life. Even like the way I see film and the things that I like, it just kind of like seeped into everything that I did. So what other better way to do it than do it with this piece? Now, every time that we bring out a piece, I don't know what the next one is going to be, but this one. Yeah. I think it's good though that we have that pressure on ourselves because the thing is, I mean, that's pretty much a standard for us anyway. We want to constantly like keep elevating and try to do better, bigger, better. But especially with these because they're capsule collection and it's limited to just like, one body with like two colors. It needs to hit. Right? Mm-hmm. Whereas like in a full collection, you might have 10, 15 different pieces with all these different colors. Something might hit from that. You have a higher chance. But then with this, it's like, that's the design.
And that's the cool thing too. Like with this, I feel, evidently too, this is genius brain merchandise, right? But it's kind of not at the same time. It's like this, it's kind of its own thing. Where if you did walk around the street, somebody wouldn't look at that like it's an anime shirt, even if they're not an anime fan.
Right.
They'll just be like, oh, that's a fucking sick shirt.
Yeah, that's a dope fucking design.
Exactly. And that's like kind of the objective that I have for, when we create these things too. I don't know how many times somebody has stopped and asked me where they got the shirt. And it's a capsule collection. It's like, it's not going to come out again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe we will, but this was a bitch to make, so don't ask.
Right? I got PTSD.
Yeah. this is a PTSD. Look how fucking hard this shit is. PTSD from it. But listen, the pre-orders for this, we'll leave it open, like 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks last time?
Yeah, I believe we'll do 2 weeks. Like we'll work out the details of it. We'll iron out all the details. Again, just make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter, and then we'll shoot out all the details for you guys. You guys get the first dibs on it, and then we'll figure it out. Yeah, and the reason why people are like, why don't you put the pre-order for like a month long? Well, the longer the pre-orders are, the longer it takes for people to get their stuff. Exactly, because it's made to order. Don't forget that. Yeah. That's why we're doing a pre-order and then basically making an order every single order. And that's why we set aside a certain amount of time. Now, the PTSD that we're referring to with the first one was we had issues with production and things took much longer than anticipated, kept getting pushed back. We don't foresee a problem With this one, knock on fucking everything here.
Yeah.
Knock on wood that we don't have any issues with this one. So it should be smoother. But yeah, like Dave just said, if the longer we have the window for, it takes that much longer for us to start production and
also
things
to pre-orders for us too. It's a lot easier in terms of like, number one, resource wise, and number two, this stuff is a little more intricate than everything else. So we make this in mass bulk, and everything is fucked up like this one. You guys would have never gotten your shirts.
Yeah.
So it kind of covers both of us.
Yeah, it's better to streamline for us this way, so that we find that pocket with our factory and just be like, okay, this is what we're going to run, and just focus on this for that time being to fulfill all those orders, and then just pump it out.
Yeah, so get ready for that. That's going to launch pretty soon. We'll let you know. Just follow me on Instagram, follow Ed, follow the Secret Society page, and then we'll let you all know. Sign up for the email, Genius Brain, every Sundays at 12 p.m. And we will.
What? We got the exclusive Genius Brain discount code this time too. For viewers, we got the SSGB20 for 20% off your order. No exclusions, no minimums. One-time use only though. So if you're watching this, SSGB20, all capital letters, use it for 20% off. And we're going to run it for about a week from when you see this.
Yes. So keep an eye out for that. Once again, sign up for the email. I've literally talked to so many people about this. How do I get to know the email? Damn it.
We actually have two pieces here that we'll preview next time too. This is coming from our spring summer collection. That's going to be coming out in a couple of months or so. But these are some exciting pieces.
Genius Brain every Sunday at 12 p.m. We'll see you all next time. Peace.